Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction for Nisemonogatari. It is episode 5. And we are finally having another run in, a little bit of talking as it seems, with, well, our newest adversary of evil. So you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, please go down into my descriptions. You will find a link. Just replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots and you can see the reaction. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear out my thoughts. So, see you soon. For those of you that came back, welcome back. Now that was well, the pacing of those episodes, the pacing of the series is really strange to me, because I sometimes feel like these episodes do not contain much, but then they do, you know? And like the story is taking a lot of time for itself, so I'm always a bit confused after each episode if there happened enough, or I ask myself, how can I react to that? You know, it's not so easy. It's not that you do it actively, but it's more like I very often find myself during the episodes of this series sitting there and just doing like because I'm trying to think about it, trying to find more meaning and deeper meanings in which are there from time to time, no question there. So just wanted to get that one out. However, for this one, no question, this scene which I brought up here was, I think, the most important one and the coolest one yet here. So I really liked the design, this black and white room, but most importantly it was the music, which reminded me a lot of I think it is Baba Yaga, the Hall of the Mountain King, something like that. This maybe shallow running in the background all the time. That was very nice. It set a very interesting theme and tone to this meeting. So it gave it a very special vibe. I like that, because it was not aggressive. It was in a way of king, sorry, in a kind of way relaxed. So like Kaiki seems to be, you know, although she threatens him, he's just sitting there and he seemed kind of relaxed, but it was still threatening in the whole scene itself, but more from his side. So although she came in to kind of threaten on him that she will punch him if he doesn't take back those curses and spells and whatever he did, whatever he sold there, it very fast changed the other way around. He was able to turn the whole talk into the other direction, and it felt very fast like he was threatening her, that he was in power, as he was in the end, as we've seen. So that I really liked. That was very nicely done. He's an interesting character, there's no question. So major thing here. We started off, however, with a little sister who once again played a little game of words with her big brother. This, you have to promise me not to get mad, and then I will tell you what happened, but first you have to tell me something embarrassing, you know? That was like, seriously. She's playing with... they really have a problem, and as we know now by the bee, it is something really dangerous for Karen, but still they're playing on time, the sisters. But something interesting came out for me out of this discussion, because we learned that Aragi Koyomi, by stating he has only five friends, I see 4 lights. And then he just has 5 friends, and they all flashed before his eyes, so we know all of them. Then he very likely didn't have any friends before that, so he was a complete loner, which is well, he's a little bit too old to have had no friends before. Very strange. So there was something I think it was important to learn. And I asked myself if the fact that he gets friends now is due to what happened to him. I mean, all of them are bound to him somehow by his supernatural abilities. The fact that he used it to help them, about the fact that he is in this supernatural world, which is kind of a new start to a life, like a change in his life. So before that, was he a boring type? Or why didn't he have friends? He wanted to talk about it like he had this theory of being strong, you don't have to have friends, something like that, but in the end that's sorry crap. Well, however, then we had this scene, as we have here on the side. The main thing in the scene is the point of view that Kaiki has. So his theory on life, the way he lives, is if you can't make money from it, it's not worth your time. If you do it for free, you waste money. Kind of you don't value the thing you're doing, one might say. So this is a theory I heard before. If someone does something for you and he doesn't charge you money, then he doesn't value what he does. And if you don't pay for it, then you don't value what he did for you, kind of, you know. So it's a very cynical way of life, believing that only money makes the world go round. There is some truth to the word, no question. But we have some very we have more in neither one of the discussions of our time, with Karen on the one side and Kaiki on the other. Kaiki being kind of harsh capitalistic, saying when I see an opportunity to make money, I take it. And I don't care about the consequences for others. I don't care about ethics, as example, because that it is what it is about. The question of luring kids into doing something so that you can make money out of it. And by stating, yes, they're easier fooled, they're easier lured into my traps to make money. So sure, I go for them. This is a very unemotional, I wouldn't say that, a very dark way of thinking. It's this, I don't care about ethics, about things like you shouldn't do specific things. And ethics, as we know, is something we learned from our society where we grow up. So the question is, did he grow up in some different kind of way that he learned it like that? Or did something happen in the past from which he learned that from which he changed his way of behaving into that? And I have to ask myself, what is he doing with all the money? I mean, he's talking about quite big amounts of money. His plan is to get 3 million yen out of the play with the kids. If he wants to take this, if they want to take the spell from Karen that he places on her in the end, he wants to have at least 10 million yen before he even starts talking about it. So if he's going around in this amounts of money, and we know that from Senjugahara he got quite a good amount as well, what is he doing with it? I mean, it's not like he's driving around in a fancy car here. Yes, he's wearing a dress, but you know, he's a loner, as it seems, by himself. So, is he burning it? So that's one question I have in the background. Where is all this money going? However, so he says, if you can take money for something you do, then always do it. Then always take the money. So it's like if someone in the train asks you to stand up because that's a very good example. There are places in trains, seating places in trains and buses and the like, which are for people with disabilities. I can clearly see something happening, like he's sitting on one of those spots, a woman comes by with a disability, or a man, doesn't matter, and asks him kindly to stand up because he or she has a disability and it's her rightful place. He is the one who would say, how much do you pay me for it? you know? And sure, she could then claim she has a right and everything. But that's it. It's about you have to discuss with him first, and you have to kind of force him to give up something. If you give him like 1 yen, he would possibly stand up because it's, you know, at least he got something for it. So that's a very... I can see the point of his view, but it is not a nice point of view. And then we have on the other side the big fire sister Karen, who's very, very enthusiastic, very about what is right and what is wrong in the world, about you have to help people. It is like the inner fire that she has, you know. It's in many ways, as mean as it is, a very childish way of thinking, because at least I learned stuff like that as a kid. I learned that if there are old people coming into a train or a bus, you stand up and offer your seat. If there's someone at a street and you see it's someone old, you give a hand to bring them over. You don't play cruel on others. You always try to be fair. You always try to be nice. Don't insult others because it hurts only them and doesn't give you... You know, those seems ethical backgrounds that we get from our culture. Those are things that you learn as a kid. And as harsh as it is in many ways, your parents or your teachers or anyone tells you about how you should behave to be a good person. And then society very often shows you that the good one comes in last. We have this problem. I guess you know it. It's those that don't play by the ethical rules very, very often win in the market. Because, like Kaiki, they don't care. And rules can be bent or broken if you have enough money. So that's possibly the problem that is shown here. I like it that they're bringing up this this problem in our society, and they do it in an interesting kind of way. So, in the end, he puts the bee spell on her just by touching. Okay, so the thing that he is just very much a human, which he points out here, might be true, but he clearly has some abilities and powers or knowledge at least, so he is dangerous. He's not just a human. So we will have to keep an eye on that. And oh yeah, and he said he dislikes pain. That is interesting to know. So just in case, threaten him with violence. Will work if you can get him. And there, well, in the end we jump back to the house of the Araragis again. And there seems to be, well, not a cure, but the option to take at least the spell from Karen. Yes, we had this strange I rub you off with towels scene, whatever that was needed for. Oh, and we had the scene with Hanekawa about the free groping allowance. But then I would hate you forever. That was strange. But I liked the way they played it out. Him like, yes! And then I would hate you forever. Then it's useless! Fantastic. Really nicely done. But it shows again that it's not about him just being bodily. He wants to still have as a friend. You know, he likes Hanekawa. Back to the sisters, however, so he can take over the spell if he wants to, the curse on himself. And when they talked about it, I was like, okay, where is this going? It will possibly be a kiss. I'm kind of afraid, by the way, that this series works with on the edge fan service sometimes. Not so much about what they show, but more about the concepts of specific fan service here. That they would go for even more than a kiss. Thankfully they did not. So he just jumps in the room now and is about to kiss her, and that's where they ended. And I'm like, they didn't do so many cliffhangers yet. So it's okay, but there was a mean cliffhanger. It was like, okay, where are we going? I really would like if the next episode would start with a slap. You know, that he's like just coming into the camera, you know, like wanting to kiss her, and she's just slapping his face off. That would be nice, because she doesn't know why he does it. That it is for her own good or anything like that. So kind of hope for that beginning. Or who knows, maybe little sister is just jumping into the room and sees it, or stuff like that. Or Senjugahara would be, you know, there's so many options now for this to go bad. And then Hanekawa very clearly stated it, you should solve it in this night, because you have to learn tomorrow. I mean, that's a bit of pressure. And it's interesting that she kind of calls the shot in this moment. She is telling him what to do, and he's not even thinking about saying no. He's really instantly going for it. So that's interesting. Yeah, I think that's it for this episode. As I said, the main scene clearly was this one here. And I really hope they go with this soundtrack, with this music for him, for Kaiki in the future, because that's a very nice background music for him, I think. So, that's it from me this time. I hope you liked. And I will see you, as always, on the next of those videos for this series. Until then, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And have a nice weekend. Or a nice new week, depending on when I will ever post it. So, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.